Anthropic just warned the world about its own product, not a competitor's product, their own. They said their AI models may soon be too powerful for humans to control. That is not a fringe researcher talking. That is the company building the technology. And most people heard that headline and kept scrolling. But there is something else inside that warning, something practical, something urgent, and it has nothing to do with robots taking over. It has everything to do with timing. Right now in June 2026, you have access to AI tools, powerful ones, affordable ones, some of them free, but Anthropic's warning this week signals something most people are not thinking about. The open era of AI has a deadline, and the people who understand that will use this moment differently. Here is what is actually happening. Anthropic released a public statement this week. They said their models are advancing so fast that the risk of humans losing meaningful control is real. They called for a global coordinated mechanism to manage AI development. That is significant language. Coordinated mechanism means oversight. Oversight means rules. Rules mean restrictions. Restrictions mean access changes. And access changes mean the tools you can use freely today may not stay that way. Think about what happened with the internet. In the early days, anyone could build anything. Websites, businesses, tools, all accessible, no gatekeepers, no massive enterprise licensing. Then the rules came. The platforms locked down, the ad costs went up, the barriers grew. The people who moved early built something real. The ones who waited watched the window close. AI is following the same pattern, just faster. Now here is something that connects directly to this week's news. xAI launched Grok connectors this week. Deep integrations into SharePoint, Outlook, Google Workspace, Notion, GitHub. Google announced its Gemini Enterprise Agent Platform, 8th generation chips built for enterprise scale. These are not consumer announcements. These are enterprise moves. The big players are building walls around AI value, packaging it into enterprise contracts, pricing it for businesses with budgets. And when Anthropic files for an IPO valued near $1 trillion, as reported this week, the pressure to monetize and restrict shifts dramatically. You move from a research company sharing powerful tools to the world to a publicly traded company accountable to shareholders. That changes everything about access. So what does this actually mean for you sitting here right now? It means the window to build with these tools cheaply and freely is open, but not forever. Claude, Anthropic's flagship model, is still accessible today through affordable tiers. And the things you can build with it right now, document summarization systems, customer communication flows, research assistants, content pipelines, proposal generators, client onboarding automations, are genuinely valuable. Small businesses pay hundreds of dollars monthly for services that Claude can handle right now. Freelancers charge real money to build these systems for clients who have no idea how to set them up. The gap between people who understand this and people who do not is enormous, and that gap is the opportunity. Let me give you a concrete picture of what this looks like in practice. Imagine a real estate agent in any city. They spend hours every week writing property descriptions, answering the same client questions repeatedly, preparing offer summaries, chasing documents. Every single one of those tasks can be handled by a Claude-powered workflow today. A Claude prompt that takes 15 minutes to build can write a property description in 30 seconds. A Claude-based assistant can answer the most common client questions automatically. A document summarizer built with Claude can pull key terms from any contract in seconds. That real estate agent gets hours back every week, or a freelancer charges them $500 to set it up, and another $100 a month to maintain it. That is not theory, that is what is happening right now. And the question is whether you are the person building it or the person still figuring out what Claude is. If you are finding this useful, consider subscribing for more practical AI insights every week. Now here is the part of Anthropic's warning that nobody is focusing on. They specifically mentioned that without global coordination, the least cautious players will gain ground. Read that again. The least cautious players gain ground if oversight slows the responsible ones down. That means the tools you are using today may become more restricted on the safety-focused platforms, while open source and less regulated tools fill the gap. That creates a different kind of urgency. The tools with the best safety track record, the tools most likely to be trusted for serious business use, may become enterprise only, and the tools remaining freely accessible may be the ones with fewer guardrails. This is not a reason to panic, but it is a reason to build skills and workflows now on the tools you trust while you have access. Because the person who built a Claude-powered client system before access changes is in a fundamentally different position than the person trying to learn it after. Let me get practical here. What should you actually do with this information? 3 things. First, build one real workflow using Claude this week. Not a test, not a demo, a real workflow you will actually use. Pick the task in your life or business that repeats most often. Customer emails, report summaries, content drafts, research proposals, build the prompt, test it, save it, use it. One workflow this week means you understand what these tools actually do. That knowledge compounds. Second, document what you build. This is where freelancers are making real money right now. Every system you build for yourself is a system you could sell to someone else. The business owner who cannot build it will pay you to do it for them. And right now, with the enterprise platform still in early stages, the small business market is wide open. A landscaping company does not need an enterprise AI contract. They need someone to build them a simple proposal generator and an email follow-up system. You can do that. Third, pay attention to how access is changing. Watch the pricing announcements, watch the enterprise packaging, watch what features migrate behind paywalls. The people who see those shifts coming build around them. The ones who ignore it get cut off. There is one more thing worth sitting with here. Anthropic made this warning publicly because they believe transparency matters. They are one of the few AI companies that regularly publishes what they are worried about. And what they are worried about this week is not a minor technical problem. They are worried that the pace of AI advancement is outrunning the world's ability to maintain meaningful oversight. That is a significant thing to say out loud. It also tells you something about how fast the capability curve is moving. Because if the company building the most safety-focused AI in the world is issuing this kind of warning, the tools available to ordinary people in 12 months will look dramatically different from today. Different in capability, possibly different in accessibility, almost certainly different in price. The open experimentation phase does not last forever. It never does. So the question is simple. What are you building right now? Not next month. Not after you learn more. Not after you watch a few more videos. Right now. Because the people who move in this window, who build the skills, create the workflows, and understand the tools while they are still open and affordable, are building real advantages. Not theoretical ones. Real ones. The kind that compound quietly over the next 12 months while everyone else is still deciding whether AI is worth paying attention to. Anthropic told you something important this week, not just about AI safety, about timing, and now you know. What you do next is entirely up to you. Drop a comment. What would you build first? That is where the real conversation starts. Chapters. 0 o'clock hook. Anthropic's public warning 0:45, what the warning actually means. 2:30. The open era has a deadline. 4:15, what this looks like in real life. 6 o'clock, 3 practical things to do. This week. 7:30, why timing matters more than you think. 9 o'clock, final thoughts.